kunjam bihari gopi jana vallabha girivaridhari gopi jana vallabha girivaridhari Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaridhari Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjam Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnu Pad Padamahamsa Parivajakacharya Astatarisadhishi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Tri Dandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Charya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada flooding the whole material world with a tidal wave of super ecstatic Krishna Prema Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Pad Padamahamsa Parivajakacharya Astatarisadhishi Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premsakaho Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mayi Ki Jai Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tusi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaura Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Kṛṣṇa Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shramaniti Namane Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gordavani Pachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtutadesha Tadine. So this reminded me, Prabhupada explained one time a wonderful lecture. There was an ecstatic, super ecstatic kirtan in Los Angeles, the former world headquarters, New Dwarka of our ISKCON. Prabhupada explained, after this super ecstatic kirtan, how he had come with this pair of cymbals. I just remembered that there's a famous moment in material history called D-Day, when the Allies came to invade Europe to kick out Hitler. They were successful, became known as D-Day. So I was just thinking, they brought a huge army, all kinds of weapons and soldiers to kick Hitler out. You see. But Prabhupada came, this is called K-Day, you see. He came with, what was his weapon? A pair of kartals. And with this pair of kartals, He's set off a revolution that's going to conquer this whole planet and conquer the whole material existence, actually. As predicted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Krishna consciousness movement is going to flood the entire material world. Everyone's sajjana darjana pangu jada anagana. And the pious, sajjana, the impious, durjana, the lame. Some of us don't walk very well, we're becoming lame. The lame, the invalid, some are in wheelchairs also. The invalid and the blind, some don't have eyes, but everybody become drowned in this ocean of Krishna prema. And here we are, the lucky participants here in this wonderful Krishna Balaram complex. It's amazing how Prabhupada came here. This little village. I remember when I first came, across the street was an open field. Any of you remember that time? Across the street from the temple was an open field. It's a little tiny village here, you know. But now it's a big city because of Prabhupada. Because of Prabhupada, it's a big city now with all kinds of buildings and guest houses and stores and all kinds of things. But this is an amazing thing. Prabhupada is an amazing spiritual revolutionary. And we have the great opportunity to be following in his footsteps, to get his mercy. In his footsteps is unlimited mercy. Unlimited mercy in every single footstep of Srila Prabhupada. So how many footsteps he made here? So many footsteps of Prabhupada, thousands and thousands of Prabhupada footsteps are all over this holy dham, blessing it. And now we can get this dust, not only from Krishna's footprints, but Prabhupada's footprints also everywhere over this holy dham. We can take this sacred dust, even the sacred dust is in the air. Just by inhaling here, in Vrindavan, we get spiritual mercy. Just imagine by inhaling, you get spiritual bliss. Holy dust, you see. So Abhijānāti speaks on me, even though I'm not a very qualified speaker. I'm not very learned, not very intelligent, not very pure. Abhijānāti speaks something from Bhagavad-gītā. So I'm just taking shelter of Prabhupada, my beloved Guru Maharaj, who gave me this mercy, accepting me back in 1971. Oh, it's good. It's a long purport that will help me. I can read a lot of words from Prabhupada. Bhagavad-gītā 1855. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhaktamam abhijānāti yāvān asmi tattvataḥ tattvato jñātvā viśate tad-anantaram bhaktyā mam abhijānāti yāvān tattvataḥ tato tattvato jñātvā viśate tad-anantaram bhaktyamam abhijānāti yāvān tattvataḥ tato tattvato jñātvā viśate tad-anantaram.
cāsmi tattvataḥ tato jñātvā viśate tad-anantaram bhaktyā mam abhijānāti
Yatmamam abhijānāti
yāvān cāsmi tattvataḥ tato mam tattvato jñātvā viśate tad-anantaram bhaktyā mam abhijānāti yāvān cāsmi tattvataḥ tato mam tattvato jñātvā
yāvān
viśate tad-anantaram.
Ladies, Bhaktamam abhijānāti yāvān tattvataḥ tato tattvato jñātvā tad-anantaram. Bhaktyamam abhijānāti yāvān tattvataḥ tato tattvato jñātvā viśate tad-anantaram. Bhaktyā, by pure devotional service, mam, me, abhijānāti, one can know. Yāvān, as much as, yacha asmi, as I am, tattvataḥ, in truth, tataḥ, thereafter, mam, me, tattvatāḥ, in truth, jñātvā, knowing, viśate, he enters, tat-anantaram, thereafter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Om Vishnu Pad Panamaham Sapadiva Jakacharja Asta Tarazadashi Shimadesi Bhaktivedanta Tri Dandi Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. One can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation, nor by the non-devotees. If anyone wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden. As already stated in the Bhagavad-gītā 7.25, nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya, he is not revealed to everyone. No one can understand God simply by erudite scholarship or mental speculation. Only one who is actually engaged in Kṛṣṇa consciousness and devotional service can understand, but Kṛṣṇa is. University degrees are not helpful. One who is fully conversant with the Kṛṣṇa science becomes eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom, the abode of Kṛṣṇa. Become a Brahman does not mean that one loses identity. Devotional service is there, and as long as devotional service exists, there must be God, the devotee, and the process of devotional service. Such knowledge is never vanquished, even after liberation. Liberation involves getting free from the concept of material life. In spiritual life, the same distinction is there. The same individuality is there, but in pure Kṛṣṇa consciousness. One should not mistakenly think that the word viśate enters into me supports the monist theory that one becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. No. Viśate means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in one's individuality, to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree, not to become one with the tree, but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the example of a river flowing into the ocean and merging. This may be a source of happiness to the impersonalist, but the impersonalist keeps his personal individuality like the aquatic in the ocean. We find so many living entities within the ocean. If we go deep, surface acquaintance with the ocean is not sufficient. One must have complete knowledge of the aquatics living in the ocean depths. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and the opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth. As it is stated in the 11th chapter, only by devotional service can one understand. The same is confirmed here, that one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service and enter into his kingdom. After attainment of the Brahmabhuta stage of freedom from material conceptions, devotional service begins by one's hearing about the Lord. When one hears about the Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahmabhuta stage develops, and material contamination, greediness, and lust for sense enjoyment disappears. As lust and desires disappear from the heart of a devotee, he becomes more attached to the service of the Lord, and by such attachment, he becomes free from material contamination. In that state of life, he can understand the Supreme Lord. This is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. Also, after liberation, the process of bhakti or transcendental service continues. The Vedanta Sutra 4.1.12 confirms this. Aprayanatat traprapi dishtam. This means that after liberation, the process of devotional service continues. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, real devotional liberation is defined as the reinstatement of the living entity in his own identity, in his own constitutional position. The constitutional position is already explained. Every living entity is a part and parcel fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his constitutional position is to serve. After liberation, this service is never stopped. Actual liberation is getting free from misconceptions of life. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Badakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishākanvitamscha Namah Vishnu Padaya Kṛṣṇa Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paśyātya Deshatarine. So this purport reminds me how I was a young spiritual seeker back in 1968. And I was following this philosophical pathway of neti. Deny this, deny that, deny. I was on my way, actually, I dropped out of college. I decided, yes, my career path will be to go to India and become a holy beggar in India. That was my career choice. So I was on my way to India, and I was chopping away, not this, not this, not that, not this, not this. And one night I had a very profound realization. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I denied until I could deny no longer, and then I had to start accepting. In other words, if you want to deny, you've denied everything, and what's left to deny? Now you have to deny denial also, you see? You have a hatchet, you want to chop down all the denial, all the attachments, chop, and the last thing is to throw away the damn hatchet. You see? And then you have to enter the realm of transcendental acceptance. You see? And then what will I accept? I felt there were some spiritually enlightened beings in San Francisco who were calling me to join them. So instead of a reverse direction, instead of going east to India, I hitchhiked west to San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury district. And as soon as I got there, I went down to Golden Gate Park, and who did I meet? There's these amazing people that were chanting, dancing in ecstasy. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Kṛṣṇa, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Took me a few years, actually. But I finally realized, yes, those are the people were calling me to join them. And I finally did. It took me about 2.5 years, but I finally joined them and got the mercy of this wonderful personality, His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who's now blessing us with this amazing, amazing knowledge, you see. I was just thinking about this example of the water merging into the ocean. Another realization in this regard is, well, within that water, what is that river water composed of? So many water molecules, isn't it? Now those molecules lose their individuality and merge into the ocean? No, they're still individual water molecules, you see. Every water molecule is an eternally individual water molecule, you see. So the Mayavadis really don't have anything to stand on philosophically. It's actually blind faith. Mayavadi philosophy is blind faith. Kṛṣṇa, with great difficulty, they come to this position of becoming free from all material attachments. But the trouble is they're attached to being free from material attachments. And they have to learn to give that up, you see. They have to learn how to come beyond this impersonal realization and realize the nature of the soul. Jiyara sarupahai Krishnera nityadas. The individual soul is being part and parcel of that Supreme, is meant to serve the Supreme, just like your hand serves the whole body, or your foot, or your ears, or your eyes. Every single part of your body is meant to serve the whole body, isn't it? So we, being part and parcel of that Supreme, are meant to serve them. So one may wonder, well, why are we here? Why do we even exist? I mean, does Kṛṣṇa really need us? He's called the self-sufficient philosopher. Why does he even need anybody? He could just be alone, couldn't he, if he wanted to be? Well, he could be if he wanted to be, you see. But Kṛṣṇa enjoys varieties. What does that saying? Variety is the mother of enjoyment, isn't it? So Kṛṣṇa likes varieties. I mean, he has Radharani, wouldn't that be enough? And Vishaka, Lalita, isn't that enough? But Kṛṣṇa enjoys more and more variety. This reminds me when I was a young brahmachari. Back in Gainesville. Gainesville was famous. The traveling Sankirtan parties already headed out to Gainesville because we had the best prasadam in the whole movement. They used to call it Geesville. Geesville. So anyway, the big time in Gainesville was the Janmashtami feast, 108 preps. Wow. So, why is 108 preps more reliable than 3 or 4 preps? Because of variety, you see. Variety is the mother of enjoyment. So Kṛṣṇa has the power to enjoy unlimitedly, therefore he expands from himself what? An unlimited number of living beings, so he can enjoy a sweet, intimate, unique relationship with each and every living entity. In other words, you're unique. Each of you, all of us, we're all unique. We have individual personalities. None of us are clones. We're not robots. We're individual personalities. Each of us has certain qualities and characteristics unique to ourselves, you see. In other words, Kṛṣṇa enjoys a unique taste with each and every living entity. And he relishes he has an unlimited, he wants to enjoy unlimitedly, so he manifests from himself an unlimited number of living entities so he can have the ultimate love feast. An unlimitedly sweet variety of relationships. But, in other words, it's called loving relationship. Loving relationships with each and every one of us. So that's why we exist. That's why Kṛṣṇa is emanating us, aham sarvasya prabhavo, I'm the source of everything. Kṛṣṇa is emanating us from himself so he can have a unique loving relationship with each and every one of us. But love means voluntary, doesn't it? I put a gun in your head, love me or I'll blow your brains out. Love is voluntary. You can't force love. So love means you have the choice. Love me or leave me. So why would somebody want to leave Kṛṣṇa? That's the question we often hear. Why would somebody want to fall down from the spiritual world? It seems impossible, doesn't it? To give up eternity, knowledge, and bliss, to take temporality, ignorance, and misery. I mean, why would somebody want to be so stupid to do such a ridiculous thing? To give up eternity, knowledge, and bliss, come here in freezing cold, putting on jackets. You don't need jackets and go to Vrindavan or 2 pairs of socks or whatever. Why would somebody leave that beautiful abode of eternity, knowledge, and bliss and come to temporality, ignorance, and misery? Many times I'm asked this question by my readers in my e-course. Why would somebody want to leave? It seems impossible, but actually there's a mathematical way to prove that it can happen. By mathematics, you can prove that it's possible. So anyway, here's the mathematical way of understanding it, through mathematics, scientific, y'all. What is the way? All right. So there has to be some probability that one could fall down, otherwise love cannot exist. See, there has to be some probability. If there's 0 probability, that means you're a robot, you're under force, you have no free will. But for free will to exist, there has to be some probability it can be misused. So what is the mathematical probability that somebody wanted to give up their loving relation with Kṛṣṇa and to be independent? It'd be the smallest possible number, right? So what's the smallest possible number? 1 divided by infinity. Anybody who knows math knows that's the smallest possible number. 1 divided by infinity is the smallest possible number that exists, you see. So, how many living entities are in the spiritual world? 10 million, 10 trillion, 15 quadrillion. How many living entities in the spiritual world? Infinite, isn't it? So, do the math on it, Prabhus and Matajis. Do the math. 1 divided by infinity, times infinity equals what? Infinity. Therefore, you have an infinite number of living entities that have fallen down. Mathematically, we've proven it. There's an infinite number of living entities who have fallen down from the spiritual world and the material world to enjoy separately, and that's confirmed. not only an infinite, you say, where is it confirmed there's an infinite number of living entities? Well, probably there's an infinite number of universes, each with an infinite number of planets. So consider how many living entities there are. There's an infinite number of universes even in the material world. An infinite number of Brahmas, some with 4 heads, some with 40 heads, some with 4,000 heads, some with 40,000 heads, 400,000 heads, 4 million heads, 4 billion heads, 4 trillion heads, 4 quadrillion heads. There's an infinite number of universes in the material existence. So that's obviously going to be an infinite number of living entities, and we've proven it mathematically. So here we are, one of that infinite number, you see. So, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the great Vaishnava Acharyas, Lord Brahma, Narada Muni, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Vishnu Swami, they're all the mercy is actually combined, you see. Prabhupada is not only giving us his mercy, but through Prabhupada we get the mercy of all these great acharyas, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gaurkishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod. Prabhupada brings, he's an instrument through which all this mercy is flowing upon us. The bona fide spiritual master actually comes as a representative. He may be qualified, he might be qualified. Prabhupada actually said like this, it's amazing, he said, I may be perfect, I may not be perfect, but what I'm giving you, that is perfect, you see. So how can we understand this? The spiritual master thinks, I may be perfect, I may not be perfect, but I'm giving you what is perfect. He may say, well, you have to be perfect, but let's say the postman comes to your door. He wants to deliver you a cashier's check for $1 billion. You say, oh, wait a minute, my dear postman. Are you wealthy? Are you driving a Rolls Royce? I mean, you have a nice house somewhere in the suburbs with a swimming pool in the backyard. If you're not wealthy, I don't want this check. You have to be a multi-billionaire at least if I'll take this check for you. Check from you. Now, I don't care if he's a pauper struggling to pay his bills, I'll take that check, right? So the spiritual master, he probably, I may be perfect, I may not be perfect, you see. So the spiritual master may be perfect, he may not be perfect, but he's giving you his perfect, he's acting as a pure representative, purely giving you what he has heard from his spiritual master without adding or subtracting. This is what worries me in ISKCON. I see there's a tendency sometimes, devotees want to add or subtract. Even when Prabhupada was here, this was going on. They want to add or subtract from Prabhupada's teachings. Actually, it happened. I give a little ISKCON history if you're not familiar with all the details. Prabhupada made 4 sannyasis. Brahmananda, Gargamuni, Vishnujana, and the first one I forget. Huh? Subal. And now these are the 4 sannyasis that were traveling. They were the supercharged sannyasis. Yeah. Supercharged sannyasis. So they decided Prabhupada's not being glorified enough. So they have this philosophy, Prabhupada is God. If you have to accept this, or you're not really a proper disciple of Prabhupada, you have to accept that he's God. So they're preaching Mayavadi philosophy, can you imagine? So Prabhupada had to smash him. And he did. He broke him apart. You can't travel as a group anymore. And he said, each of you must open 10 centers before you can come back and have my association. Whew. So Vishnujan opened Houston, and then he opened Austin, and then I remember when he took us all to San Francisco in 71, the Ratha Yatra. He went in for his darshan with Prabhupada. He took a chance and went for a darshan. He hadn't opened 10 temples. He took a chance to get Prabhupada's mercy. He went in anyway, with only... And Prabhupada said, so Vishnujan Swami, how many centers? He's like he was crawling up under the carpet. He said, 2. Then Prabhupada said, you have to open another 8. You see, so Prabhupada knew how to train us, you see. And we got off the track. He knew how to get us back on the track. That's the duty of the spiritual master. When he sees the disciple getting off the track, get him back on the track, you see. So we have to be careful now in ISKCON we don't get off the track, you see. Because Prabhupada's not personally here to get us back on the track, but we have to hear from those who are strictly following Prabhupada without addition or subtraction. If we get off the track, we should take guidance from those who are on the track, you see. Otherwise, ISKCON is going to go off, going to veer off the roadway, you see. Like going off the highway into the ditch. We don't want ISKCON to go off into the ditch. Well, this kind of this royal road, as Prabhupada predicted, you see, that this Kṛṣṇa conscious movement will actually deliver the whole world. He gave us the order, become guru and deliver the whole world. That's our assignment. It's like, well, okay, go wash the dishes, go offer an arti, and I'll buy it and deliver the world also. Is that just some flowery words to fire you up, to chant your rounds? To go out and book distribution or go on Harinam? Is that just some flowery words? What do you think, some poetry? Or you think it's a literal scientific fact, deliver the world? Yes, it's a fact. But as it's sometimes said, physician, heal thyself. We have to do both things, you see. If you want to be potent for living the world, you have to live yourself first. So whatever this extent we're able to live what's our time limit, 6:30? To whatever extent we're successful in living ourselves, to that extent we'll be empowered to live the world. So therefore we should strive for what? Prema bhakti, pure devotional service. And Prabhupada actually explains in one purport, this is amazing, amazing purport. He said, if one can chant the holy name of the Lord without offense, he becomes Jagat Guru. And that his influence, the whole world will take up chanting Hare Krishna, you see. So actually, my dear Prabhus and Manajis, you have a spiritual revolution potential right there in your bead bag. You can make a spiritual revolution right there in your bead bag, you see, by the quality of your japa, you see. It's an amazing thing. And in this regard, we also studied the other day in Bhagavatam 5:18-9, I think it was. Prabhupada explains the meaning of this. We sing it every day. Bahir Nasingha Hridaye Nasingha. Prabhupada explained what that actually means. He elaborated it and he translated it in an amazing way, in this way. May Lord Nrsimhadev dwell within my heart, killing all my bad propensities. And how did it go after that? See. The point was, forget the second half of the line, but the point was, may Lord Nrsimhadev kill my propensities so I can now make the whole world Krishna conscious. That was the meaning, you see. In other words, Bahir Nisinga and Hridaya Nisinga, Nrsimha ties my within, and Nrsimha ties without. So that I can make the whole world Krishna conscious was the point. So we're actually praying to be pure devotees and world deliverers every day when we sing the Nrsimha prayers. I'm praying that I can become fully pure devotee, and then I pray for the empowerment that now I can deliver the world. So every one of us is meant to be a world deliverer, not just the gurus or the sannyasis or the book distributors, but every one of us, following in Prabhupada's footsteps, is meant to be a world deliverer. So that means we have to become very serious to deliver ourselves, because that's where it all begins. The more you can deliver yourself, the more you're empowered to deliver the world. So anyway, been rambling on here. We got about 12 minutes left. Does anybody have any challenges, corrections, realizations? My wife is known as Guru Maharaji by all the disciples. Guru Maharaji, you have any points you'd like to add? So, anyone have any questions? Points of clarification? Yes.
My friend was there with me, and he was telling that we need shastras and we need to reconcile everything with shastra and sadhu and guru.
Guru, sadhu and shastra.
Yeah, shastra. Even if we have spiritual master, we need to check his words in shastra.
The spiritual master is only bona fide if he purely represents the shastra. If he deviates from shastra, he's bogus. That's right. You have to check, is this guru bona fide? Is he really a guru, or he's a lagu? Is he a guru or lagu? Is he heavy or is he light? If he's purely representing what's in the scriptures, he's guru. If he's not, he's lagu. He's just some lightweight nonsense. You see. Guru or lagu. If he's purely representing scripture, then he is guru. So every one of us is meant to be guru in the order of Lord Chaitanya by purely following and repeating what we're hearing in scripture. Does that answer it?
Someone may use a scripture but give their own interpretation, how we can follow that too.
somebody gives interpretation, that's the pathway of the Mayavadis. They interpret. So if somebody, we have to take, that's why Prabhupada's purports are there. So we can't interpret what these verses mean. Prabhupada has clarified exactly what these verses mean. Otherwise, like that famous bogus Bhagavad-gītā, it's not the Kṛṣṇa we should render, but the unworthy, unmanifest. So you give interpretation. There's another example of that. One example of that one devotee many years ago, a long, long time ago. Kṛṣṇa says, "Vaham nāhaṁ," I personally deliver. And this devotee was thinking, no, Kṛṣṇa doesn't personally deliver. I mean, it's not that he's a delivery boy, that he's going to personally deliver. No, he's taking service. He's not going to personally do that, deliver. So he crossed out, "Vaham nāhaṁ." And anyway, he went away from his house to take bath or something like that. And his wife was there in the house, and these two beautiful little boys, they came, and they take the bamboo on each side and heavy load on each side. They came with this huge burden of delicious foodstuffs. And we've come to bring this to you, deliver it to you. And she said, what is this? He said, your husband has sent us. And we didn't want to go. And just see, he's beaten us. We have beat marks all over our body because he didn't want to do it, but he forced us to come by beating us. And he's amazed, my husband is not so cruel, he would beat you like this. And anyway, they went away, and then all this wonderful food stuff was there. The husband came back. Where does all this food stuff come from? He said, oh, these two beautiful boys have come, but you have beaten them. And he realized, oh my God. He realized by cutting through Aham Yaham, he had personally beaten Kṛṣṇa. The words of Bhagavad-gītā, Kṛṣṇa himself, by cutting away those words, he had been beaten the Lord's body. And he realized that, yes, Kṛṣṇa showed, he personally delivers, and by cutting away, he was actually personally beating the Lord's body, you see. So we should not interpret like this. Vaham yaham couldn't be possible. We have to take exactly, what does it say? Yes. Bhagavad-gītā, what? As it is. So interpretation is not allowed. We have to take it as it is without adding or subtraction. Does that clarify the point? You want to add some more points in this regard? Yeah. Anything else? Is everybody ready now to revolutionize your consciousness and revolutionize the world? You ready? Get out there and turn world history right side up. This topsy-turvy world now is to become right side up. I don't care how young you are, how old you are, how healthy you are, how sick you are. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair and you're dying on the hospital bed or whatever. Your duty is to deliver the world. Prabhupada gave us that world duty, deliverance duty. Yes?
One more question I have, that one example we hear that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was preaching to prakāśaḥ and Saraswati, he sat on the floor where they washed the food, and then he was preaching, he started with, I am very low sannyasi in a downcast. So there is one way like this, and second way is like bold, the person is saying whatever you are speaking is wrong, and like there is another kind of preaching, like when we are giving that you are wrong, like directly. So which way is how to preach, like in which way?
Somebody is wrong, we have to correct them. Somebody is right, we should encourage them. Our duty is to encourage the right doers and to chastise the wrongdoers. We have to correct them. It's our duty to correct them. You see. Somebody is misinterpreting, we say, no, that's not correct. Prabhupada was very strong on correcting those persons who were wrong. He was very strong, you see. So we have to tell them this is wrong, you see. Just like I have a big complaint about India nowadays. I complain very much about it. Here we are, I came to the holy land of India, you see, the land of Kṛṣṇa. The land of Krishna's pastimes, Lord Ram's pastimes, so many great acharyas. You get out the airplane, you go through passport control. What is there to greet you? Johnny Walker. In Mumbai and Delhi also, the same Johnny Walker is there to greet you to India. Johnny Walker liquor. What made me even more sick to my stomach, we came around the corner and there was a huge queue of people, Indians, buying their Johnny Walker and their Russian vodka. I mean, it just breaks my heart, actually. The Holy Land of India, how much these poor people have been misled and misguided here by all these rascal acharyas, and I mean, it's horrible. So I have a very big complaint about the modern-day government here in India allowing Johnny Walker and Rajan Gwadpa, what Greece is to the Holy Land of India. There should be a beautiful temple there. When they come through, there should be a beautiful temple with arti going on in kirtan. That's how we should arrive in India. You see, that's what we have to have in these airports. There should be a beautiful deity worship and devotees and Prabhupada's books. That should all be there when you come through passport control. So I have a big complaint about this Indian government, because I don't want to complain too loud. They may take away my visa. Got to be a little intelligent also. But you know what I mean. So you have to use discretion also when you correct. And you use discretion. There's a saying: discretion is the better part of valor. You have to know when you can be heavy and when you cannot be heavy, and you have to know. Kṛṣṇa will give you the intelligence. You see, I'm seated in the hearts of all men, and from me comes a knowledge. You see, of how to preach, how to practice. Kṛṣṇa gives all that intelligence. He's seated as the super soul within the heart. And you're sincere in your desire to preach purely, super soul will guide you what to say and what not to say in every situation. You see, actually, it doesn't require to be a great scholar to be a preacher. Well, I have to know so many slokas and so many leelas, otherwise I can't preach. So-and-so das, he knows about 500 verses and 10,000 leelas, but I don't. I only know 2 or 3 verses and 1 or 2 pastimes. How can I possibly preach, one might think? But no, Bhakti-siddhanta said, all that is required to preach is you have to be enthusiastic. That's all. If you have enthusiasm, you can be a preacher. That's all. You have to be enthusiastic. Yes, Krishna is my God, and everyone is Krishna's service, and he wants the whole world to become Kṛṣṇa. So if you have that conviction, you can be a first-class preacher. Just be enthusiastic. That's all that's required. You see, tattvato. That's all that's required. Enthusiasm. Tattvato. So we're down to the end here. We got about anything last. Got about 75 seconds. But it's been really nice. So nice to be with all of you here. We appreciate very much you coming out tonight. And I do have an e-course. We got 30,000 people signed up right now. It's free of charge. And I'll bombard you every day with Krishna conscious philosophy. You go to joincourse.com, joincourse.com, and you give your name and email address, and you'll get on I'll bother you every day with Krishna conscious emails to remind you who you really are. You're not that body, you're an eternal spiritual being. Now don't cheat yourself by trying to enjoy the combination of the senses with the sense objects, you see. Take this process very seriously to become the pure devotee of Kṛṣṇa, completely free from lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy, and your life will be unlimitedly sublime. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.